Hey gang, Joyce with Skippy Cass Farms here. Kind of a sort of a before and after video. Had a little bit of thought process, as usual. Still trying to catch up. As you can see, that grass, those seed heads are all the way up to my elbow in places. I've gotten started on this side, but I've not finished. What I have done is finished on this side. So this is what I did. Here on the Bermuda grass will grow about where nothing else will. You can kind of see right there, that's actually the edge of the gravel. So the grass is growing on all this, and this is new put down gravel. So I took and cut the Bermuda as thin as I could along the edge. Why? Well, I really don't want it building up and growing over it. We are getting some rain right now. It's not gotten hot yet, but when it starts to get hot and dry, having cut that back, that should burn off and burn back a bit so it won't continue to encroach. What looks like here is what I call tumbleweeds. There's a number of different plants here. You can kind of see right here this little purple yellow flower. That's that dragon something or another thistle. Here's one that didn't get hammered quite so much. Right here, you can see this is an open area. They go in, they colonize, they get a big taproot and go down and break up the compaction and start the succession. Used to have a whole lot more of it than I do now. Probably 50 to 70% of this whole slope at one point was those thistles. And now most of it is fescue and big blue stem and some other grasses, including the Bermuda here. So still not sure what this grass is. It's kind of a nuisance grass. It may be even a rush. Sheep won't really eat it, but it's a move in the right direction. When you move from there to there, you're moving in the right direction. So you can see there's big blue stem. You can kind of see where I left it a little bit taller. You really don't want blue stem big blue to get grazed down below about 18 to 16 inches minimum. And if you're not, it's so palatable, your critters will come down and eat it to the ground. And that's what my sheep have done over in other parts of the paddock, in the pasture. They'll come in, because they like forbs instead of the grass. They'll eat the forbs, and they'll eat the forbs to the ground before they'll touch the grass. So it's really hard for me to, I'm still working on it. I'm still trying to figure out a management program or style that's going to do a better job of that. But only having a couple of animals or a few animals, very little space, I don't have a whole lot of options. So I do have more options than I would have if I wasn't able to graze them over here next door during the week, for which I'm extremely thankful. But what's my point? My point is, you manage for what you want, not what you don't want. But sometimes the only way to manage for what you want is to cull what you don't want. If you don't want a cow or ewe that's going to have trouble giving you babies, well, if she does that to you, then you don't let her do it to you twice, right? Fool me once, fool on you, fool me twice, fool on me, kind of thing. And so that's the thought process. I'm not managing for what I don't want. I'm managing for what I want. And the way to do that is to help what I want, the big blue, let it go to seed before I cut. That's why everything was up to my elbow, because the seed heads on the big blue weren't mature yet. So I let the big blue stem seeds get mature. Then I cut it tall, just cut the seeds off, and was a little more aggressive with the thistle and some of the other grasses. So what does that mean? Well, look, just look in front of you. I know my videos aren't stimulating, but look, you got big dark clumps here and here and here and here and here. That's not big blue stem, but that is, and 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 then there's some smaller ones down over to the side. I didn't have any 4 years ago. Maybe 5, maybe 3. I didn't have any. It's just shown up since I quit mowing. And so on this side, this is the north side. It doesn't get quite as much sun, so it doesn't have as much big blue. What it has a little bit more of is this this viney stuff. Now the sheep will eat this. Sheep will eat that. And it's moving up in succession. A vine is still going to be better than most weeds because it needs a little bit of fungus, about a 1-to-1 fungal bacterial ratio to start getting viney and stuff. So it's not actual intra level anymore, but this is what it looked like over there before I started cutting. And now as you look over here, there's the vines, there's a little bit of bird's foot trefoil, there's some of the dragon thistle stuff. I'm not seeing a bunch. I'm not seeing big blue. There's a giant ragweed down there. But we're dealing more with the vines because they can't handle quite the heat and the sun that the other side facing the south does. So we're going to come through here and we're going to do kind of a sculpting around some of the grass heads. We're not going to cut anything below probably 8 or 10 inches, just enough to make it possible for me to see down the road, because the speed limit here is 35 and people drive 55, 60. They're dyslexic when it comes to the speed limit. Instead of 35, they think it's 53. And so I'm fortunate. I do have a fairly good line of sight. The challenge is looking this way. Well, you would think this would be the problem. Well, no, actually the problem is down here between these two telephone poles. There's a bunch of poke salad that's about 6 feet tall right there. And then you can see where the crest of this little ridge is right here. Those two batches of vegetation that are 100 yards apart block the visibility of cars coming off the highway. Down there where that black car is, the road is on the dark side just over here from there. And I don't have a high staging spot. It goes straight down, so That's the challenge. I can weed eat my driveway right here all day long, but it doesn't help me see down the road when somebody's driving 53 instead of 35. So I usually end up having to maintain my neighbor's property for my own safety's sake. So, yeah, you do what you need to do. I'm not complaining. They're allowing me to let my animals graze, and so I'm grateful for that. And if this is, it's getting to be an issue, so I'll go up there and I'll weed eat over there. Actually, that area over there blocks my vision more than this area right here. So, but this is what it looked like, and this is what it looks like now. This still doesn't look very pretty, but that's a management choice on my part. So with that, gang, you can see the hoodlums out there grazing, those little boogers. They've got some good grazing out there this week. I will wish you blessings for the day, and whatever you do, just keep chasing the dream.